Peace to the squad. Another secret message found inside the movie Wicked. Another secret message found inside the movie Wicked. What's the deal, family? What's the deal? Dreamwise here for another one. Yes, I want to dive deep into understanding or an article I just read that is absolutely fire in the aspect of a deeper breakdown of Wicked. And, interpersonal or metaphysical breakdown of wicked and an invisible energy. But first, I wanted to show y'all. I wanted to show y'all this because we got to talk about this because this is going to lead up to the wicked decode, and then B.O.B. going through what he's going through right now, and all these particular energies are showing naked ass. Check this out though.
The big concern at the moment, and why I think South Africa is a big talking point in the US right now, is America.
Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all that later. I want to show y'all this. Shout out to Woody. I got to definitely show y'all that though, because that's what brought this whole thing into the fold. But check this out.
The big concern at the moment, and why I think South Africa is a big talking point in the US right now, is America in the next 20 years will become, for the first time in its history, a minority white country.
Well, that will be a very, very bad thing to happen. You want to see the US go down?
Ha! The boldness. This is Elon Musk's dad, right? The boldness, the audacity, the guts to say white is right and black is whack, essentially. The ability to just have that kind of energy. Check it out. Look, this is his words.
Is America in the next 20 years will become, for the first time in its history, a minority white country.
Well, that will be a very, very bad thing to happen. You want to see the US go down? Why? Oh, you don't like cars and electric cars, and you don't like technology, or what is it? You want to go back to the jungle,
or? God damn.
God damn.
Ha! That nigga said we monkeys in this bitch. We swinging from tree to tree in this hole. That nigga said we just running around apes, the planet of the apes in this hole. That nigga says, you want to go back to the wild? You want to go back to goddamn Tarzan and them? That nigga coming for us quick. And then, they had to put this on. I'm excited. I can't wait to read the comments. Because I know they're going in. What?
If the US becomes a minority white country.
Yes.
So there's Latinas, there's blacks, there's people from all different races make up the majority, and then, it could be 48% white people. Do you really think the US is doomed if it goes under?
Yeah, it goes under then.
Seriously?
Yes, of course. You see,
with strength, with conviction about his group, baby. Yes, of course, that shit is over with. That nigga said, "Oh nah, hey, is white is right. If we lose control, then shit, it's a wrap. The U.S., you might as well just go to somewhere else. I might as well come over here to Africa, South Africa. Shoot, hey, don't lose control, U.S." See, and just the mindsets alone to think that this race thing is real, you feel me, is a problem that a lot of people face and a lot of people are going through. But the audacity for him to even believe that and then to put it out to the world can see is basically like rage baiting, of course, but then it's also their ideas of what they think about you. They really think you're a lesser being. And they're really trying to put, their race on top, whatever that might look like. And they know the truth, and they understand that we are not human beings. We're spiritual beings, super human beings. That's beyond any kind of notion of you placing us in a construction or in a design template of slavery, because that's all some of this stuff is designed slavery. And that design slavery is their way of controlling you through the mind, through the mind control. And I'm gonna get into it because we got to go deep into the fold of this stuff, and it's something that a lot of people can't see because they're thinking that they're in the game and they're in this particular earth realm or in this position based off of their strength and their understanding. But just best believe your outfit, your costume, your makeup, just like Elphaba on Wicked, is going to be judged the minute you be seen. And there's a particular problem with that because we know as spiritual beings that, you know what I'm saying, we're walking in this illusionary world not to judge. But they're definitely judging you because they're trying to stay in control of the material world. So now, what do we say against that, or what do we do against that? Well, I'm going to tell you a few different things you could do against that. And I'm going to read some of these books to dive deeper into the fold of what you can do against it. Because again, you know what I'm saying, we got to take back our order, our right state of mind, right? And essentially, them books that I've been reading in the Patreon has been helping us break free of that systematic mind control over this invisible cloak rule of the powers that be, or this supreme powers that be Caucasian white race. And look, I'm just telling you what it is. It's something that you probably wouldn't even see and understand because, you know what I'm saying, you've just been programmed through the religion, through the school system, and through the TV to be a particular way or to see yourself in a particular light. But now that we're eradicating that, we're breaking free of that. Now it's time to take back reign and take back melanin supremacy and run the show on yourself. Here we go. Let's keep on watching this because this nigga is hilarious, boy. God damn. I can't believe he tried to pull this off on TV.
If you take South Africa, we have a small white population that projects the European culture, or what we learned from Europe.
And oppressed millions of black people
No.
for decades.
How do you oppress? We gave them work. We fed them. They grew from...
That nigga said we gave them work, we fed them. Hold on, you check it out.
Yes, of course. You see, if you take South Africa, we have a small white population that projects the European culture, or what we learned from Europe.
And oppressed millions of black people
No.
for decades.
How do you oppress? We gave them work. We fed them. They grew from a tiny little group into a massive group. That's not oppression. That's feeding them. Do you understand? You only grow big if you get fed. You only...
Just the mere fact that he believes that is absolutely asinine.
Start at 800 and become 50 million if you get fed. We fed them, for crying out loud. You know, enough with this nonsense.
But so you understand.
All right, let's stop it right there because, yeah, that nigga gonna piss me off too. God damn. All right, so now let's get to the real crux of this thing. So I read this article that was tying in Elphaba. Let me show y'all that real quick because it was good, really good article on Elphaba. And Wicked 2 is coming out this Friday. So that's fire. Y'all go check it out because I will be decoding it. And y'all know I decoded the first Wicked. And it was good, you know what I'm saying? I talked about self-image, the mirroring effect, aka sororities and things of that nature, because that's what kind of it was showing me. Spirit was showing me that. The green goddess, the frog goddess, and all of that particular stuff. You feel me? And obviously, I seen the dynamic of the white and black thing and how it played out in Rule, but you know what I'm saying, I didn't really touch on it as much as I'm about to right now, because again, there is a lot of truth in casting people into these particular roles to serve a ritual out to the masses to create a certain type of spirit into the world or into the unconscious collective. So now, you know what I'm saying? Well, let me just read the article and we can go deeper into the fold, because shit, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Hold on. Share screen. Now, this article was by, who was this person's name? Frederick Joseph. So he went in on Elphaba and he said some fly stuff, but look at this. He says, Elphaba has always been a metaphor for the misunderstood, the maligned, and the oppressed. But her, played by a black woman, the metaphor becomes flesh. It becomes history, becomes American, becomes now. So this is him diving deep into the idea of Elphaba, and she being basically casted by Cynthia Erivo. This casting decision does not simply nod an inclusion. It reconstructs the architecture of the story. Elphaba is not just fighting for herself. She is fighting against a system that have long been structured to devour black women. Her defiance, her refusal to capitulate to the myths others impose upon her, carries with it the weight of centuries of struggle. And it is precisely because Cynthia Erivo stands in this role with her voice, raw, mighty, and unrelenting, that the story becomes not just a fairy tale, but a reckoning. Okay, so y'all know Cynthia Erivo, she's black. She's proud of her being, you know, in the LGBTQ community. She got nose rings. She's just in the space of, you know, being her authentic self, right? So she was beautifully casted for this particular role of defiance, of rebelliousness, of thinking outside of the box and not being conformed into a system that doesn't serve your greater good. Beautiful casting. And you know what I'm saying? When you look at her backstory, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? Cool. So they got to do Wicked 2 good, because they got me fucked up. This ain't no Joker thing. Now, you know, they might pull the move. They will pull the fast one on Wicked 2. So I'm just preparing everybody for that now. Because once I seen there was a part 2, I was like, yep, that might be the fast one. You know it too, and that's just how the world works. They'll give you the first one, the first real message, but then they'll spin it back to conform back into the system. So let them try to pull it. Hey, I'm just telling you what it is, baby. So I'm just prefacing now, so when we do watch Wicked 2, y'all not surprised and like caught off guard. You feel me? Because it might happen. Trust. But just lean in towards the positive side of this thing. Elphaba being who she is, Cynthia Erivo, and having this kind of rebellious nature is subconsciously speaking to the melanated beings of the world, right? So we got to understand that to the core, that we as melanated beings have this kind of defiance and rebelliousness. And they talked about it beautifully in this book. When I was reading it in the Patreon, I was like, that's it. You feel me? And then TC Carrier stepped on it a lot. So I'm like, damn, rebelliousness coming up crazy. I'm like, God damn. I said, shit. I gotta talk about it, because there's something to it, right? But I'm gonna go deeper into the fold of what rebelliousness actually is, because you might be looking at it in the lens of how I used to look at it back in the day, but it's really something metaphysical, spiritual. Watch, check it out. But let me finish reading this article so we can go deeper. It says, By casting Cynthia Erivo, Wicked becomes more than the sum of its parts. It becomes an allegory for the intersection of race, sex, and power. It asks us not just to feel, but to think, to reflect on the many ways to participate, knowingly or not, in the stories that exile others to the margins. The magic of this choice is not only in what it adds to the story, but in what it reveals about the world that made this story necessary in the first place. So that's an important power move by the casting and the directors of this particular movie that I've seen can shift consciousness. You feel me? Just like we thought that Joker movie, that first Joker, was going to shift consciousness in him breaking free of kind of a self-imaging role, right? And moving into his own individualistic energy instead of trying to fit in a box, you feel me, or be judged because he wants to do his clown thing, you feel me? Let's see, skip ahead. Ervo's Elphaba is not merely a character. She is a metaphor that reverberates through time. Her steadfast refusal to yield is a reflection of the role Black women and Black people broadly have so often been forced to play in the world's most critical battles. In moments of moral crisis, when silence becomes complicity and actions becomes hazard, it is the Black voice that have so often rung out, clear and uncompromising against injustice. From the abolitionists to the civil rights activists, from Ida B. Wells to Fannie Lou Hamer, from the streets of Selma to the streets of Ferguson, Black women have stood where others would not, shouldered burden too heavy for one heart to carry, and spoken truth others refused to utter. Okay, so there's something to that, family, right? These melanated people back in the day, and even in today's power struggles, right? When you see the Rizza Islams of the world and the 19 Keys and things of that nature of the world, right? That's still fighting some kind of injustice or some kind of invisible cloak thing. There's something to that, right? Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, going all the way back to Malcolm X and all of them, right? And the Black Panther movement and everybody in that particular era, you know what I'm saying, they were fighting against the oppression of our skin color because we looked a particular way, which is criminal in itself based off of, you know what I'm saying, we're the gods, we're the chosen ones. We're the ones. We're the ones. And there's nothing being created without us. There's no way that you can bring forth a particular, how would you say, manifestation without melanated people, without melanin. So it's a crime against humanity to have certain individuals put us in a particular idea that sets us back in the mind and keeps us in a slave mindset based off of, you know, the stereotype of what they're showing us on TV and the rituals that they keep on projecting on these screens. So with Elphaba being the one that's breaking free, it is important that we get into the space of understanding how far the rabbit hole goes when we're trying to be conforming to this society. It says, this dichotomy between complicity and resistance is not conformed to the realm of Oz. It is the heartbeat of our own societies, where the structures of power persist because complicity is easier than action. We see it in the silent nods, the unspoken agreements, the social gatherings with family and friends who would see people on the margins buried, the collective shrugs of those who benefits from the system of oppression but refuse to challenge them. And we see it in the relentless, often thankless work of those who resist who refuse to accept the status quo, who dare to imagine a world that is not built on the backs of the marginalized. So this was a very good article. I want y'all to go read it. I'm actually going to put it in the I'm gonna put it in the comments in the video, because I think it breaks some particular molds of understanding what we're about to get into, especially in Wicked 2. So a lot of this came up with me when I was watching that Woody and Big Bank interview. This interview right here.
Let me give you this before you go.
Let me see.
Is go ahead and
This interview right here with Woody and Big Bank. And essentially what happened was as I was watching it, I was starting to understand Woody a lot more. And shout out to Big Bank, because they did a fabulous job of bringing out the energy that Woody needed to explain in a particular way. And you know what I'm saying, he's not crazy. He's actually somebody that has his right state of mind on, and he's not in a space of confusion. You feel me? Like a lot of people wants to believe. He's actually really conscious and aware of his surroundings and his particular makeup. But the problem is, you'll put somebody in a box based off of what again? Their color, the color of their skin, the way they kind of look and move, and all of that particular stuff. You feel me? What's up, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? I did not see y'all in here. What's good, y'all? What's up? So when they put you in this particular box or in this particular stereotype ritual based off of your skin color, you know what I'm saying? It's hard for people to break free of that energy based off of, you know, it is what it is. You see a black person walking across the street with a hoodie on, now all of a sudden you feel a particular way. You feel me? Based off of what they're showing on TV, and continuously beat ourselves up in the mind of TV programming. See a black person with a shiesty mask on and he runs up to you, you don't know how to feel, which is, you know, understandable. But at the same time, at the end of the day, why would it feel different when it was a white person?
Message.
I'm just saying, we got to think about it. There's an energy there that stops us from, you know, moving in a particular manner of truth based off of the stereotype. So when I was watching this, I was like, oh, okay, bet that makes a lot of sense. And I want y'all to check out Woody's message in the aspect of what his truth is, what his truth reigns supreme.
Let me give you this before you go. I think what you should do is go ahead and write a hypothetical book, like talking about everything that you've been through, but put a disclaimer like some of this shit is fake, and just tell all the shit that you ain't told, all the shit, exaggerate some shit. That shit'll be a bestseller.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, I want to, babe. I even wrote it. Crazy. I can tell you the intro now, everything. It's a crazy book. But it's like, what part with the kids accept? They gonna accept their bullshit. They gonna accept their violence. I was doing shit that you wouldn't even believe, my nigga.
But you gotta tell the kids, I'm lying.
You can't, because now, see, let me tell you this. I poison the mind when I start putting things in their mind that they would never even thought about. You feel me?
So damn, that's commendable. You saying you'll goddamn pull back from the bag just to make sure just so you won't contradict what you're doing with the kids.
Yes, sir.
That's solid.
You gotta understand it, man. I ain't know what a gun was till I seen it on TV. I heard about it in a rap song. I wasn't raised around a gun before I saw a gun. I seen this shit on TV. I was like the gun by watching it on TV.
Damn.
Real shit. I learned how to drive by watching TV. I learned how to steal cars by watching TV. I learned how to be stupid by watching TV. So now I'm out here every day with the youth. Every day. When I ain't working, like when I leave here, I go with the youth. I done taught every last one of Billy YouTube. Y'all post on Instagram and TikTok for free. Post on YouTube and get paid.
Message.
Yeah, shout out to Woody and shout out to this interview. And I would suggest y'all go watch the whole interview because, you know what I'm saying, he not crazy. He don't need no medicine. And he really on his square when you really look at him and stop looking at the stereotype energy that they try to create in his narrative. Yeah, he was playing a particular character in the case on the stand, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, he got his sense there, and that's why he was able to pull that off in court because shit, nobody else wouldn't have been able to do it if you don't have no sense about this thing. You feel me? So you got to play dumb and confused and strange, if you will. Very intelligent brother. Just go watch it and y'all see. So that whole interview kind of reminded me of how I started in my particular journey of rebelliousness, if you will. Me and my partner Thad had we were real close with real childhood friends, you know what I'm saying, did everything together, blah 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 blah. And he had an older brother named CO, right? We're gonna call him that. And CO was you know what I'm saying, he was into life crazy. You feel me? He was doing his thing, making things happen. You know what I'm saying? And we used to just marvel at all the shoes he had because I used to spend the night over there and just be in awe of all the shoes, all the clothes he had and stuff like that, right? He was way older than us. So if we were in 4th grade, he was like in 11th grade, shit like that. You feel me? Fancy car, slab, everything, you feel me? And he used to, and his mama was just cool like that to where, you know what I'm saying, they basically was working out of the house. So you know how it is in the hood. It's just one of those things where, you know, mamas ain't really tripping per se. They are, but they not. But you know what I'm saying, when you have 6 boys, your oldest boy can get away with a lot, especially if there's no father in the house. So I used to be over there a lot because, you know, that was my brother. Me and Thad was brothers essentially, right? Cool. So we're seeing that and we just marveling and everything like that. He used to buy us ice cream, buy us shoes, you feel me, take us to eat. Then another aspect of it was he had all the ladies. And that was the biggest thing for me and Thad. We was like, this nigga getting them, boy. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that slab, bow tires, you know, we was in Marvel, tatted up, all of that shit. You feel me? Anyway, he had ended up going to jail and doing some time when we got to about 7th grade, 8th grade. So he was already grown and stuff. And they took him off. They took him away for 4 years. You feel me? I remember us in the hood, we was kind of like marveling at that energy, like, oh man, they got CO, yeah, they got him, man. But he coming home and da 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 da. Sure enough, guess what happened when he came home? Because he didn't do the whole 4, he did like 2.5 or something like that, right? But sure enough, by the time we got to 9th grade, he was home. And guess what happened? He threw a big ass party for him, celebration. I'm talking about it's going down, baby. We was just in marvel of him coming home, and the whole block came out and everything. And he, you know, he was kind of revered in that particular light of the hood star, if you will. Very powerful brother too, you know what I'm saying? Charismatic and all of that. So that was part of it too. You feel me? So me and Thad wanted to beat CO, honestly. You feel me? So much so that I got into that particular energy just based off of him. So now my uncles and them is in the game, right? But they all the way on another side of town and shit. But you know what I'm saying? We got a relationship and everything like that. And I'm seeing that and I'm marveling at that. And you know what I mean? We didn't really enjoy, you know how back then it was like a thing with fuck the police. We don't fuck with no laws, pigs, right? That was just a mind control thing in the head. You feel me? So that was a whole energy within itself. So my uncles and them really didn't stand the police. They hated that shit. You feel me? And I remember the first time I was coming to my uncle for some work or whatever. I came in there because they had a few different whatever spots or whatever, right? Cool. And one of the spots, he had an apartment. He had a wife and everything. He had an apartment. Females, you feel me? Basically running the thing. On the counter, on the basically dining room table, nothing but work, guns. I'm talking about, I was in that bitch like, oh shit, it's going down over here. What's going on? I'm like a kid in the candy store thinking I'm rebelling against the system. I'm that man, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing. So long story short, because I'm his nephew and shit, he used to just whatever, yeah. So you know what I'm saying? I'm winning. So now I'm in college still doing my thing, trying to hoop and all of that. But then at the same time, at the end of the day, that life was becoming more attractive because I was trying to rebel against the system. Toasty! Man, was I fucked up in that moment. See, I thought that whole thing was rebellion, right? I thought that whole energy was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we out here, we get into it. Fuck that. But what I learned when I crashed out, essentially because I'm taking my own supply and I wasn't built for that particular adventure over and over and over again, just basically being in a fear state and not really being about that life like that, you feel me? Where it was just like, yeah, I can see myself doing this every day, always thinking about the cops or going to jail, because I didn't want to go to jail, right? Even though it was kind of like a badge of honor for some niggas. For me, it's like, nah, I'm good. I'm chill. I should do my I still have my mind. I was still spiritual about myself in that particular lane of not getting caught. You feel me? At all. Like I wasn't even trying to hear none of that shit. Niggas we used to be riding with pounds in the car and they still would light up a blunt. I would just like my whole mind would just explode at how angry I'm like, nigga, put that shit out before I beat your ass. You feel me? Just based off of like, hey, stop being so scary, bitch. Oh God. So anyway, long story short, I thought that was rebelliousness. You feel me? I thought that was being a rebel. I thought that was going against the grain, defining the system and shit, fighting the man and stuff. You feel me? So once I got off of that drug adventure thing, I then turned into rebelling against the man with the black thing, Afrocentrism, how you say Afrocentrism, trying to be Mr. Melanin and shit, with Layla Africa and all of that. You feel me? Umar Johnson and shit, dashikis and all of that. This is all black Egyptian power, right? What the fuck was I doing? And you know, if you're there, fuck it. That's what you on. That's what you on. Cool. You feel me? And that, hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Hell, I'm still reading the book, The Secret Science of Black Male and Female Sex. This nigga is an extremist too, T.C. Carrier. He's like, he's like every white person. You know what I'm saying? The boys be extremists like that. And, you know, to each his own, smoke a bag of that. And I thought that was rebelliousness until I, you know, really looked at myself and said, okay, why am I judging this man based off of his skin color? What's the whole importance of this group think mentality based off of his skin and me being divided in that particular way? So once I started doing my work heavier, I started getting into that zone of genius to say like, nah, that ain't really me. Then I thought it was the death realm thing. The Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic energy. You feel me? Death is the ultimate truth. So I'm rebelling against the system in that particular lane and zone of genius. Yeah, nigga, fuck this. Death time. You feel me? Yeah, it's nothing about death. It's only death. Death. I'm thinking I'm rebelling against the system in that. And then I just woke up one day and said, man, you know what? None of that shit was true to my heart. None of that shit is really in my character and in my gnosis of self and my knowledge of self. Why am I moving in this particular way when I don't even give a fuck about a lot of this shit, right? One. And two, I don't have to conform to anybody's ideologies and thought forms about this thing. This is all on me. And it being all on me, I need to do my inner work, my self-gnosis to understand what do I like and who I'm supposed to be.
Message.
So let me read this to y'all so we can go deeper in the fold of rebelliousness, because I want the family to understand to the core what rebelliousness actually is. You feel me? You're not rebelling against the system. You're not rebelling against some kind of man, some kind of invisible sky daddy. You're rebelling against an order of thought that's keeping you boxed in because somebody else said to do it. Chaos in the blood, baby. That's crazy. So look at this. This section is called Adaptation. This book is called Self-Unfoldment by Disciplines of Realization. Manly P. Hall. Very fire book. If you can find it, go look for it and get it in. It says, because each one of us have a different spiritual background, because reincarnation has given each of us a different evolutionary experience, and because karma has confronted each of us with different forms of compensation, we must each study and learn and grow in a different way.
Message.
We'll read that again so y'all don't get confused. Because each one of us has a different spiritual background, because reincarnation has given each of us a different evolutionary experience, and because karma has confronted each of us with different forms of compensation, we must each study and learn and grow in a different way. Philosophy is largely a matter of interpretation, and interpretation depends upon your viewpoint. That is why when two people of different spiritual experiences attempt to interpret a certain metaphysical idea, each will arrive at a different conclusion.
Message.
So, you know what I'm saying? One of the aspects of this whole spiritual practice, which this book talks about a lot, spiritual practices, discipline. If you don't know, you do need a spiritual practice or a program, discipline set of things that you do on a daily basis that actually carries out your inner God, that awakens that inner God, that enlightens that inner God. Because if you don't have that inside of you, then, you know what I'm saying, you're just out here being willy-nilly to yourself. You're not really having no self-reflection. It's a deep book, man. I'm talking about we're going in ham with it. You feel me? And it's actually a power move in this book, reading it. Each student must interpret metaphysics according to his own character and his own needs. So I can't interpret metaphysics according to CO. I can't interpret metaphysics according to Lalela Africa. I can't interpret metaphysics according to Brother Panic. Right? I got to interpret it according to my own understanding of this thing and how it's moving me and how it works for me. As St. Paul says, one man's meat is another man's poison. One man's meat is another man's poison. This individuality in all men requires that any specific method of metaphysical development must be carefully adapted to each student. It is impossible to make an adaptation without considerable personal study of the student himself. So that means you're studying yourself. You are studying you. You're looking in the mirror and understanding who you are, right? And you're rebelling or you're being unruly to particular stereotypes or energies that's being placed upon you because somebody told you to do it. It is impossible to make an adaptation without considerable personal study of the student himself and his reaction to different forms of knowledge. That is why this book must avoid any form of metaphysical discipline which might lead to injury or disappointment. So again, you can't. So you know what I'm saying? I gravitate towards Shiva a lot, heavy. You feel me? And he's a Hindu god, you know what I'm saying, of that particular energy, almost like an Osarian energy, right? Same concept, same idea. You feel me? And with me understanding that within myself, right, now I can move into my Shiva study heavy in my heart and kind of move in that particular realm of self-disciplined work that I can do every day that will start moving and manipulating my energies within inside to express the God in me.
Message.
So, you know what I'm saying? When we try to conform to somebody else's system of thought and somebody else's disciplines, it might not be a thing for you, right? It might feel good in the moment, but there might be things that might not serve your greater good to express your true, authentic God power.
Sorry, bye.
So what I like to do is tell people to say, hey, look, try this. Try to do this. See what this feels like. See how this moves you. Read this book. Gravitate towards this video. Right? You know, there's some people out there, and I didn't really understand it at first. Like, there's some black spiritual people out there that never heard of Bobby Hemmett. And I didn't know I didn't have no idea that could even be possible, honestly, just because I think Bobby is like the ultimate of ultimates and shit like that. You feel me? But when I used to have my consultations and stuff, or I still have my consultations, but some of them consultations used to throw me for a loop. When I heard some of the stuff, like, who? Oh, shit. You feel me? I was talking to my father-in-law, right? This was a while back, and he was talking about, I'm in the spiritual stuff and everything like that, and da-da-da-da. You feel me? And he was saying some phrases and stuff like that, some words that may, you might be in it, you know what I'm saying? So I would show him like some videos, show him Seafree Manel, you know what I'm saying? Who is that? Show him Bobby Hemmett, who is that? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, you don't really know, nigga. And that's just my interpretation of how I can see it, but maybe he does know a lot, you feel me? And maybe he is in his bag. But the point is, the real bigger point is rebelling against any kind of law or notion that you got to fit in some kind of outfit or costume because you're trying to match your idol or look like your goddamn leader. No, nigga, this is chaos, and chaos is just a potential energy you have inside of you. So with Elphaba and her going against the grain, especially in the last scene that y'all seen when she was like, wait, what? That doesn't sound right. She was like, huh? Wait, you want me to do what? Nah, that doesn't sound right. And the good witch of the north was saying, nah, come on, Elphaba, you can do it. You get da-da-da-da. You're with us. You can join us, right? Because Elphaba had the magical powers, they were trying to use her to fit into the system of oppression that wasn't serving her greater good. But since her sister was in that system, she was like, nah, I ain't trying to smoke a bag of that. I'm trying to do me and put my sister on. So that's the same thing with y'all, right? Fitting into a system that doesn't serve your greater good is you being capitulating to your own God energy, your own spiritual right to think outside of the box. and be your own individual being. Let me read this T.C. Carrier book so we can get deeper into the fold of this thing. What page was that? 141. Okay, hold on. It is. Okay, here we go, right here. Check this out. It says, male energy is in its natural state or closer to God when it gives out and produces inner G. This is why the male genitals are on the outside of his body. This is why the males are external beings. Males are made for the sole purpose of giving out energy to produce or manifest specific life forces. Males are visual, outgoing, analytical, and external beings. Males must be able to produce in order to feel satisfied or feel at one with nature or God.
Message.
So you must be able to produce, fellas. I can't make it up. There's no way around it. You have to be able to get out here and produce for yourself. Watch how far the rabbit hole goes when I finish reading this. And it's not the aspect of producing of what you think. This is called value building. And value building is something more than an external. Okay, it says, if you take away their ability to produce, they go against nature and thus fall from God. If you take away their ability to produce, they go against nature and thus fall from God. If the male remains in this state, it is impossible for him to manifest anything that is balanced and healthy. This includes relationships. This is what has been done to the black man in America and the world. From slavery to the present, the black man has been relegated to a child to be taken advantage of. That's what Elon Musk's dad was just saying. He was like, nigga, nah. Hell no, it can't be. Hell no, we can't let them rule. We can't let them be the majority. If we let them be the majority, this is going to be a jungle. We might as well go back to goddamn caves and forests and shit.
Sorry for you.
Ha! That nigga Elon Musk's dad is crazy. I wonder if Elon came and said something about that. See, that low vibrational thought form right there is something that he truly believes in his heart. You're like, nah, white is right, and y'all ain't. At the end of the day, y'all gonna listen and obey, and we're gonna feed y'all because y'all gonna get to work. Slave, monkey. Ha! Hell nah, boy. It says he is not allowed to produce anything or benefit for his own community. It says, this is what has been done to the black man in America and the world. From slavery to the present, the black man has been relegated to a child to be taken advantage of. He is not allowed to produce anything of benefit for his own community. He is only allowed to produce for his oppressor. This is why the black man is not allowed to have ownership of any institutions that benefit his community. For example, the black man dominates the entertainment, music, sports, and fashion industries, but is not allowed to have substantial ownership in any of these venues. Black people do not even own black entertainment television. This is all done by design to keep the black man away from his natural state in order to divide and conquer his people.
Message.
So we understand that to the core, right? We understand that this racial stereotypical energy is out here to keep us in a box or in conformity and a shell of ourselves away from God. So now the power to fight back and take back your right to be God is within you. But you got to understand that it does take some disciplines, self-unfoldment of disciplines and realizations to understand yourself deeper so you can make the move to blow up the system. It says, If a man is not allowed to produce for his women and children, his nation is already conquered. When I mean produce, I don't mean a job. A job implies that your time and energy are invested in the owner's visions and ideologies. Your time and energy is invested in the owner's visions and ideologies. See, this is what I was talking about when this is the big thing we talk about in the Patreon. Like, all right, how can we be in motion for ourselves? How can we hunt for our own food and kill our own food and, bring it back to the house? Right? We don't have to, be drug dealers and be criminals of the world to hunt for our own food and do our thing, right? And feel valuable. That's the stereotype ritual that they're putting on the TV to lock us up. Because now they get now they don't even have to even pay you minimum wage. They just get the work for free. They get your energy for free. So that's a trap, right? And then putting in this idea of, okay, let's show the TV, let's show the cops, let's show drug dealing shows, right? And the gang shows, gang violence and all of that stuff. And Black people being portrayed as I'm the hoodest and all this other stuff. You feel me? They pushing that narrative so they can lock your ass up. But there's different ways you can get out here and get to it. But you got to just understand that it's going to take you finding the joy and peace in your heart by consistently, repetitively doing these disciplines of self every day until that light bulb comes on. And you're not necessarily doing it for some kind of external gain, but you're doing it for an internal love. This internal love is noise within itself. So now you just got to understand that internal love is a calling. It's a beckoning of a right divine order within you. It says, he is only giving his most precious resource, his time and energy, into the manifestation of another man's goals and dreams. He may feel fulfilled because a man must work at accomplishing something, but in the end, he still hasn't produced for himself. A man must see that his time, energy, and work has produced something of value. If he does not see his reflection, he is simply masturbating on an atomic level. He is just going through the motions of life expression, but hasn't produced anything of substance for himself or his people. His feelings of satisfaction and contentment will always be temporary until he gets the opportunity to pacify himself again. Hey, I'm just telling you what it is. You can take it up with this nigga, The Secret Science of Black Male and Female Sex, T.C. Carrier. So understand it to the core, right, that there is an aspect of you that do want to build something down here, man. Because again, a lot of this stuff is about you going against the conformity or the angst to fit in. That's what the rebellious spirit is talking about. That's what that rebellious energy that you feel inside your heart is moving you to do. You just got to start with something small and just keep on going. Because again, when I used to do all that stuff, I was searching for the rebellious spirit of, damn, okay, I don't want to fit into none of this society pressures and all of that, right? So let me try to sell drugs. Okay, the drug thing ain't working. Let me do the Afrocentric thing. Okay, now that's not really like for me because I don't really fuck with these black people like that. Let me do the death realm thing. Okay, cool. I can smoke a bag of that. I love the invisible, but there's something more. There's something I got to accomplish down here. Let me go within and figure out a system for me that actually works for me. So then, it fell into place. It fell into order as I got onto YouTube and just started speaking and doing this from my heart, because now the YouTube it doesn't pay me per se, right? But the energy that I'm providing around it pays me to be free. So just because I was staying the course of what feels right to me and what I moved into naturally, essentially, this shit, freedom reigns supreme. You feel me? Just because I was finding myself, understanding myself more and more as I walked this particular walk, now all of a sudden, you know, the physical starts to show up and reign supreme. So, you know what I'm saying? It is a thing, it is a journey, right? The journey is going within, finding some kind of system or discipline natures of something that you enjoy to do, right? Disciplining yourself in a particular manner that serves your greater good, that's going to move the needle in this particular dimension. But it's up to you to get up and get to it. You feel me? Because again, without no disciplines, you don't have no order in your life. You're just, you know, you're just trying to, you know, figure it out without any kind of sound, sound communication with God. So I just want to encourage the family, you know what I'm saying? Put down something every day, spiritually, discipline wise, in a systematic way where you say, okay, at 8 o'clock, I do this. At 9 o'clock, I do this. At whatever, right? And then I go to work or whatever your thing is. You feel me? At 6 o'clock, I'm getting up and doing this, right? Whether that be affirmations, whatever. You feel me? At 7 o'clock, I'm meditating or whatever. You feel me? Just putting in some kind of spiritual system that you can consistently do on a day-to-day basis that's going to lead you closer to God.
Message.
Hey, I'm just telling y'all what it is, baby. It's put up or shut up time. 2026 is around the corner. And y'all just going to keep on seeing me thriving and winning. And y'all going to be like, damn, Dream, what should I do? I just told you what to do. See, but you can't look for action reaction. You can't look and say like, damn, I just want something to come. And now that's not what we're talking about. You're doing it for the internal joy, internal love, the internal noise. Fuck the external. That's going to come. It's going to happen. You feel me? But how do you wake up every day and smile to yourself? How do you wake up every day and have joy and peace? How do you wake up every day and feel inspired and motivated and driven, fellas? Right? That's the thing. We're not saying that the disciplined nature has to be followed to a T, because yeah, some days you might fuck up, you might slip up, you feel me? You might have that drunk night where you just went too hard or whatever, and now you just got to rest through the day. But then you just get back on the horse the next day. You feel me? And you just consistently chop at that wood, because we know there's going to be rainy days and we know there's going to be cold days, but that doesn't mean we got to stop forever. You just get back up and keep on chopping at that wood until the noise starts to reign supreme in your being. Like, I never thought I'd be on YouTube. I never even seen no shit like this saying like, yeah, you're going to be on YouTube. I didn't see that in my mind's eye. Spirit just kept pushing me and leading me down this rabbit hole of expressing my truth to the family so I can share my experience and then share my gnosis of how this thing is supposed to be done. So based off of me seeing the landscape of what's happening in this social media space and what this YouTube thing is with the clickbait and the aspect of like something outside of yourself, or the conspiracy theory motion that's happening heavier right now, I had to lean back, look back and say, all right, I ain't smoking a bag of none of this shit. Nobody ain't getting no work done. Everybody's just masturbating and talking about some bullshit. Because again, if you know what spirit really is, you know that spirit is telling you to do particular things at particular times to move into a space of God. So I did the Super Bowl decode already. So I'm gonna just tell it right here so I can put it down on tape. So y'all can be like, damn, Jay, how the fuck you know it? Shit, goddamn, you crazy. So Super Bowl is 2026, February 8th, I believe it is. I think it's February 8th. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's February 8th. Anyway, I got the Super Bowl. It's gonna be the Buccaneers versus who did I say? Who did I say? Y'all put it in the chat, Patreon family, who I said. I can't remember. Buccaneers versus and why am I drawing? Oh, Denver. Buccaneers versus Denver. Bo Nix versus the other white boy, whatever his name is. Hey, just take it up with God when you see it come into fruition, baby. You feel me? Hold on, let me see what y'all talking about. Hey, just take it up with God. When you see it come into fruition, just be like, all right, this nigga Dre, something wrong with you. Y'all see me do the other Super Bowls and see how, yeah, okay. So watch what I'm telling you. Okay, I want to finish reading this. Let me see. If he does not see his reflection, he is simply masturbating on an atomic level. He is just going through the motions of life expression, but hasn't produced anything of substance for himself or his people. Come on, family, we got to get to it. His feelings of satisfaction and contentment will always be temporary until he gets the opportunity to pacify himself again. People may say that this is a cop-out. They will live in the land of milk and honey. This is a lie, which states that the American dream is attainable for anyone who works hard and has the audacity to make their dreams come true. We see people from other countries come here and seemingly in a better position than we are. Looks can be deceiving. Every black man that promoted black nationalism was ostracized, institutionalized, castrated, and or killed. From the Honorable Marcus Garvey to Black Wall Street and the Black Panther, all organizations were sabotaged, shut down, disbanded, and destroyed. The Europeans fear the potential of the black man, so he works night and day to suppress his ability to transcend to higher consciousness. This is done by design. The black man to the Caucasian is public enemy number one. Okay, so he goes into the goddesses too and what they should do, and essentially they are chaos, you feel me? And the goddesses is the alphabet energy, right? And we got to understand that to the core as well. So one of the biggest aspects of that alphabet energy and what we're going to see in the form of Wicked 2 is that now, right, is going to be, how would you say? I believe if they do this right, you feel me? Which I don't know, you know, how it go. You know, I don't know. Like Wicked 2 might come out and they gonna throw a whole monkey wrench in this thing where black people and especially black women get ostracized into another 100 years of slavery. Because now you can do the 100 years of slavery through the TV system and the program. So I was hoping that they use Elphaba in a particular way of freedom, because you know that's the real game right down here in the aspect of what you see in your reflection and stuff like that. So we shall see how they pull it off. And but if it was up to me, there would be Elphaba really breaking free, and then you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's looking a particular way, but now that I'm really actually gaining some clarity with the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy and all of that shit, it looked like it might be a wrap. God damn. God damn. I'm just telling you what it is, nigga. It looked like it might be a wrap. So don't pay attention to Wicked 2, because I can feel it now, and I'm like, all right. How they gonna pull this off? Now that I'm thinking, I don't know if they're gonna be able to pull it off to where they have said melanated goddess is free. You feel me? But we seen it in Wicked 1 that she was free. And in this article, again, this dude did a perfect job of explaining this. Well, let me see if I can read this last part. Okay. Yeah, because this was a good ass article. I was like, damn. Hold on, let me see. Shout out to the family. Hey, y'all light this thing up, baby. It's gonna save somebody life. He says, the brilliance of this adaptation lies in how it forces us to confront the ways in which Glenda's privilege is not only her own, but is upheld by everyone around her. So let's talk about Glenda. Let's go back to Elphaba. Oh shoot, okay. I don't know why StreamYard be messing this thing up. Hold on. It says, this is not simply a story about two women in conflict. It is a masterful dissection of how privilege operates, how it seduces, and how it destroys. Glenda's complicity is not accidental. It is strategic, even if she cannot see it for what it is. Her actions are the quiet, insidious violence of not just right-wing white women, but of liberal ones as well. Those who believe themselves to be allies, but whose allyship dissolves the moment it requires sacrifice. Glenda does not stand with Elphaba. She stands atop her, even as it sings of love and light. She takes the power she wields and uses it to uphold the very system that marginalizes Elphaba, and by extension, every other person who does not fit into their world's narrow definition of acceptability. So y'all see, we see that today. You feel me? That's what melanated goddesses are into, or that's what the system is designed to do. Create this particular portrayal of melanated goddesses and melanated people alike to be in the slave mindset. You feel me? And to keep on picking up this narrative of y'all are not like us. Essentially, y'all can't win out here because of your skin color. It says, but what makes this portrayal extraordinary is its refusal to let Glenda off the hook. The film does not ask us to hate Glenda, but to see her for what she is, a manifestation of power wielded masterfully yet destructively. It asks us to integrate the systems that create Glenda, that rewards her, that elevates her, even as they push Elphaba into the shadows. So y'all check this article out. I'm gonna put it down in the comments so y'all can see it. Shout out to Frederick Joseph, very fire article, very fire build by the brother. And it was one of those that I had to share to the family because I thought the idea was actually genius in the aspect of seeing these people casted and then creating this particular energy that the first one served us heavily, which we seen, right? And we understand. But now the second one, I'm just preparing y'all. Be very, very wary. Yes, sir, family. Yes, sir. Love and appreciate y'all, man. Love and appreciate y'all. And until next time. Oh, fellas, Shivatism at 11 a.m., 11:10 a.m., 11:10 a.m. So y'all be on the lookout for that, fellas. We're going to dive deep real quick. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Y'all know what it is, family. Peace to the gods.